Good evening, students. Here I'm going to give some example sum for solving the min terms with the help the function having min terms with the help of k-map minimization. So I'm going to use a function. Let me write some function. Let f equal to, I'm writing in the form of sum as a sum of product min terms. So summation m of, randomly I'm choosing some numbers like 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 8 comma 10 comma 11 comma 12 comma 14 comma 15. Okay, this is for a simple purpose. I'm just chosen some random number. Now in this function, whether this function consists of 4 variables or 3 variables or 2 variables or n variables, for this I need to identify how many number of variables are required for evaluating this function. So for this, what you have to do is you have to check what is the maximum number here. So when I check with this maximum number, this number 15 is a maximum number. Got it? So if I want to write number 15 into its equivalent binary value is 1 1 1 1, right? This is the equivalent binary value. How many variables, bit values are there? Bit value 1, bit value 2, bit value 3 and bit value 4. Totally 4 bits are there. Hence this particular function consists of 4 variables, 4 input variables. So how do I write? Like I can write the variable like function of a comma b comma c comma d. Alright, I have write the same function in this way. Okay, because this particular function, the same min terms, right, the same min terms is able to produce a wonderful circuit with the help of 4 input combination of input variables. Now what is the next step is I want to find the equivalent expression. What is the equivalent way, what is the simplest way to find the equivalent expression is you write each and min terms into the corresponding variables. Like for example, for k, for 1, how do you write? A bar, b bar, c bar, d. Like this I can able to write and keep on reducing it and you can able to find the simplified expression, right? But here what I said is I'm going to represent the same thing, minimize my function with the help of k-map. See here I have 4 variable, so I can use 4 variable k-map. Alright, what are the 4? Let me draw the 4 variable k-map like this. Like this, you just draw the 4 variable k-map boxes, and I'm going to split up rows with a variable called a and b, that is belonging to this particular function, and c and d, that is also belonging to this particular function. Okay, I'm here two-way inputs like is a and b, totally 4 combination. That's just I can give a equal to 0, b equal to 0, or a equal to 0, b equal to 1, or 1 and 0 and 1 and 1. So totally 4 combination is possible from 2 input variables. But here I can write the same 4 input combination with the help of adjacency bit of ways. That is, I'm going to use gray code systems. So here 0 0 if I started, then 0 1, then 1 1, then 1 0. When I look up it, this 2 bit and this 2 bit are adjacent with, because it has only 1 bit changes. And these rows, these two rows are adjacent because here 2 bits, only 1 bit is getting adjacent. Whereas when I take these 2 rows, only 1 bit is adjacent. But if I suppose to take this particular first row and third row, 2 bits are adjacent, not adjacent, because that is 2 bits are varying. Similarly, this row and this row, if I choose and means 2 bits are varying, so this row and this row are not adjacent to each other. Similarly, I have to write the same gray code for column wise in the form of adjacent bit only, or there's only 1 bit to be changes. Got it? Now I'm going to apply the I am going to substitute the min terms. If wherever the min terms are there, I'll substitute with a value called 1. If there is no values in the min terms, I can substitute with the value of 0. This 0 0 0 0, this is the most significant bit and this is the least significant according to the function which I wrote. Since it's 0 0 0 0 means binary value 0 0 0 0 means it is equal to decimal value of 0. But my function doesn't consist of 0 terms, so I will put a value as 0. Next I'll check with the next number 0001. Now my number 1 is available, 0001 also equal to 1. So since the min term is available, I put value as 1. And next this number is 2, the 2 is available, so I'll put here. This particular cell is belongs to 3 by decimal value 3, but 3 is not available, so I'll put the value as 0. Then this particular number is 4 and the 4 is available. Then this particular cell is belongs to 5, the 5 is available, and this cell is belonging to 7 is not in my list in my function, so I'll put 0. Then this number is 6 is there in my function, so I'll put value 1. Then this number is 12 is there, so I'll put value 1. 13 is not available, so I'll put 0. 14 is available, I'll put here 1. 15 is available, also I will put 1 here. Then this position is called 8 is there in my function. Then 9 is not there, 10 is there, 11 is there. So by the way, I'm going to apply my or substituted the corresponding values based on my functions in my K-map. Now what is the next procedure is I have to group and to produce a minimized expression. Okay, first way is you have to check, since this is a 4 rows and 4 columns, I have to check whether all the rows and all the columns consist of 1. When look at this schema 4 row 4 column, there are certain numbers of 0, hence 4 rows and 4 columns is of doing grouping to way of grouping is not possible for this particular case. So next step is I have to go to the next level called, let me check with either 2 rows and 4 column or 4 rows with 2 column consist of 1s. That is 2 adjacent rows and 4 adjacent columns having only 1s. So let me take 2 rows. So I check this and let me take 2 rows and 4 columns. These 4 columns I'm checking. This column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4 and 2 rows. This row and this row are adjacent row. I'm taking as a process. Whether it is consist of all ones? No, it is not consist of all ones. So I will take this 2 rows and 4 columns. This row and all the column 1, column 2, column 3, column, because it is 4, right? So all the columns I'm checking, whereas here 2 zeros are there, so I can't able to group it. So next I go to this particular 2, I'm taking these 2 rows because this row and this row are adjacent, right? So here 1 1, okay, 0 0, so I can't able to group it because I can if I want to group in this fashion means all the rows should be and consist of all 2 rows should be consist of only ones, but here 2 zeros are there, so I can't possible. Now last step is these 2 rows, because this row, first row and last rows are also adjacent, because 0 0 1 0, only one bit is changing. So let me check whether these rows and these rows all columns consist of ones, but this is not possible because here is 1 but here is 0, here is 1, here is 0, here is 0, here is 1, here is 1 and here is 0. So there are certain zeros are there in 2 rows while I can selecting. So this way of possible is not to group it. Now let me try with this case, whether I have 4 columns and 4 rows and 2 columns consist of ones. 4 rows means all the 4 rows, that is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, but I will choose only 2 adjacent columns. So let me check with this, let me select this first adjacent column and its adjacent column like this. But when I'm selecting these 2 columns, here there are certain zeros are there, so I can't able to group. From this I am selecting with this number column and this column number. All the rows consist of 1 in this particular column, whereas here one particular cell doesn't having value 1, right? So I can't able to group this and this also. If instead of that, if this particular cell having value 1 means, that is if I have min term 0 in this function and I substituted with the value of 1 means I can group like this, okay. But now for this particular scenario of the given function, I can't able to group 2 rows, 34 rows 2 column based grouping. Hence this and these two rows is not possible. I'm checking and inspecting on these two columns, that two columns also not possible, then inspecting these two columns, then also it is not possible, and here also I'm checking, it is not possible. So hence 4 rows 2 column way of grouping is also not possible. So next step is I have to check with the 1 row 4 column is possible or 4 row 1 column is possible. Let me check with whether 4 rows and 1 column is possible or not. 4 rows, 4 row means all the rows but only one column. So when I check with one, in this case here zeros is there, so I can't able to group. All the rows should be consist of one for this case. Okay, based on the selected column. Here when I select this particular one column, all the rows is not having ones. This column all the rows doesn't having ones, but here only I have all the rows as well. So I can group as a first group. This is the first way. Well, I check with an alternative, there will be no more operation. So next stage level is, since one stage is possible, so I'll finish up with this case. But there are certain, so there are some other ones are there. So what I have to do is I have to go in further depth level, like 2 rows 2 columns having any ones. When I check with 2 rows any 2 column having ones means, in this way only I have to choose, like these 2 rows and 2 column, or this 2 row and 2 column, this 2 row and 2 column, and this 2 row and 2 column, like this I have to check. But for this case I can able to group like this. Okay, but there is, and any other option means I can group these 2 rows, these 2 rows and these 2 column I can be able to group together. And any other operation is possible means, no, here is no more possible. So next stage is I have to check with 2 rows 1 column or 1 row 2 column, 2 rows 1 column or 1 row 2 column. 1 row 2 column when I choose and means I can able to group this one. Similarly 2 row 1 column I can able to group this one. So totally I have connected all the, I have enclosed ones in the given K map with any one of the other minterms. That is, I grouped with any other minterm instead of making it as a standalone minterms, right? So this is the way I have grouped all together. Now totally group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, totally 5 groups are there for my function. So I can write like this: ssg1 plus group 2 plus group 3